Did you know that astronomers estimate that more than 7 interstellar objects enter Earth's orbit every year? Most are merely icy rocks, undetectable and lost in the sunlight's glare. But what if one of these objects was not a rock at all? Right now, out beyond Venus's orbit, an object from a different star system is drifting quietly through the darkness. For months, it seemed nothing more than a comet, an icy wanderer following a predictable path through the solar wind. However, this week, something remarkable occurred. NASA unveiled new telescope images of 3I/Atlas, and for the first time we have glimpsed its true form. The images captured by the James Webb Space Telescope have left scientists in disbelief, as this interstellar object defies any known natural creation. Its symmetry, geometry, and even its light reflection all imply an origin that remains unexplainable to us. Now here's where it gets intriguing. 3I/Atlas is an interstellar traveler streaking through our solar system on a trajectory that resists straightforward explanation. Initially, astronomers assumed it was simply another icy body like Oumuamua or Borisov, mere fragments from other systems passing by. But when the Webb telescope's infrared sensors locked onto it in early October, discrepancies began to emerge. Its surface was neither random nor rugged. It appeared patterned. From over 240 million miles away, the high-resolution data produced by Webb showed straight lines, not jagged cliffs or cratered ice, but sharp, clear, symmetrical edges. Consider this: nature abhors straight lines on a cosmic scale. Gravity molds things into spheres, and collisions create chaotic, jagged debris. Symmetrical repeating features suggest a crystalline structure that is far more intricate than a mere ice cube or something entirely different. Even more perplexing, the object does not have the spherical shape typical of comet nuclei, nor is it elongated like Oumuamua. 3I/Atlas presents a flattened, almost polygonal form with what NASA describes as reflective panel-like facets. As soon as this image arrived on NASA servers, scientists around the world fell silent. One researcher from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory succinctly stated, "This isn't what nature does." Yet, there it was, drifting in the void, a perfect enigma. So what could it be? To find out, we must comprehend what the images genuinely reveal. The Webb telescope operates in the infrared spectrum, which means it perceives not just light but also heat. This distinction is vital. Visible light merely indicates reflected sunlight, whereas infrared or heat reveals the object's composition and thermal behavior. Upon processing the data, astronomers made an incredible observation. Specific portions of 3I/Atlas were absorbing heat differently from others, suggesting sections made of metals or heat-resistant materials. The temperature differences were too significant for an ordinary icy comet. Certain areas appeared nearly reflective, exhibiting spectral properties akin to polished alloys, while others appeared cold, dark, and inactive. If this situation sounds familiar, it's because it's not the first time such anomalies have been noted. When Oumuamua passed through in 2017, it too exhibited peculiar reflectivity and non-gravitational acceleration. However, 3I/Atlas takes this curiosity further. Its geometry is not merely unusual, it seems deliberate. The non-gravitational acceleration witnessed with Oumuamua posed a significant puzzle. It sped up as though something beyond the sun's gravity was propelling it. Was it outgassing that we couldn't detect? Or, as some posited, was it being pushed by light itself? The fact that 3I/Atlas displays similar strange characteristics suggests an ongoing pattern rather than a mere anomaly. Here's where the mystery becomes even more profound. Utilizing data from both the Webb and Hubble space telescopes, NASA constructed a 3D model depicting the object's rotation. To everyone's astonishment, 3I/Atlas doesn't rotate randomly but rhythmically, seemingly balancing itself with precision. Its rotation period is almost exactly 9.7 hours, and it maintains that spin despite the pressures from solar radiation and gravitational influences. Most comets spin erratically through space, while this one seems to stabilize itself. When you combine that characteristic with its geometric form and unconventional reflectivity, it begins to appear engineered. It is important to clarify that NASA has not stated it is artificial. The official comment merely states, "We cannot yet determine the origin of its symmetry." And that is precisely what a meticulous scientific organization ought to say. The burden of proof for an extraordinary claim, like that of alien technology, is immense. They are meticulously ruling out every conceivable natural explanation first, regardless of how exotic. However, behind the scenes, teams from MIT, Caltech, and the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics are quietly investigating unconventional possibilities. Some theorize it could be a fragment of a much larger entity, perhaps a remnant of an ancient interstellar collision where high temperatures fused and reshaped materials into intricate forms. Others, however, remain skeptical. Harvard astronomer Dr. Avi Loeb, who famously speculated that Oumuamua might be an interstellar probe, has shared his views again. His analysis of the new data points to something striking. The ratio of 3I/Atlas's surface area to its mass suggests it could be exceptionally thin, with some areas less than a millimeter thick. This could explain its unusual light behavior and imply it may function as a kind of sail, a light sail. Imagine that. An immense ancient sheet gliding between the stars, gently pushed by starlight pressure. Not a rock but a relic, a communication crafted by intelligence long before our time. If this notion sends chills down your spine, you're not alone. Yet, before we rush to conclusions, let's remember that nature has a knack for surprising us. When the first pulsar was discovered in 1967, it emitted radio pulses so regular that scientists dubbed it LGM-1, for little green men. They believed it was an alien signal. It later turned out to be something even more remarkable, a neutron star rotating with clock-like precision. Perhaps 3I/Atlas is another such gift, not a spacecraft, but an entirely new type of natural phenomenon, something our current understanding of physics cannot yet grasp. Still, we cannot ignore the coincidences. The geometry, stability, thinness, and reflective surface, along with the light signal NASA recorded weeks ago pulsing at precise intervals before the image was taken. Now new photographs appear to show order arising from chaos. It almost feels as though the universe is trying to convey a message. If only we could decipher its language. For those who remember the golden era of the Apollo program or the first time the Voyager spacecraft turned its camera back to capture the pale blue dot, that sensation of awe and a feeling of silence when you realize how small yet interconnected we truly are to the stars might come rushing back. 3I/Atlas rekindles that feeling. It's not merely an astronomical discovery. It's a philosophical one. This highlights the genuine educational essence of astronomy. Not just elements and orbits, but context. Discoveries such as this compel us to confront the profound silence and the question of whether we are the only intelligent beings in this vastness. Because if this object is indeed artificial, we are not the first civilization to create something that traverses worlds. Someone or something out there has already accomplished what we can only dream of, reaching the stars. Conversely, if it's a natural phenomenon, then the laws of the universe are far more imaginative and artistic than we ever thought possible. The cosmos, it seems, has an affinity for symmetry, whether in snowflakes, galaxies, or whatever 3I/Atlas ultimately proves to be. NASA's recent computer models now indicate that 3I/Atlas possesses a hollow core, a cavity or pocket that reflects heat differently than the rest of its surface. Some even speculate this void may have once served as a storage chamber or perhaps a remnant of a propulsion mechanism. This is speculation, of course, but once so were the notions of flight and landing on the moon. The Webb team plans another in-depth infrared scan in the coming weeks when 3I/Atlas reaches its closest point to the Sun, known as perihelion. This moment brings maximum stress and maximum opportunity. If it indeed functions as a white sail, the increased solar pressure might produce a measurable acceleration, a definitive sign that it is not merely a rock but something dynamic designed to be mobile. Imagine the ramifications. A structure drifting across the interstellar void for thousands or even millions of years, enduring the cold, radiation, and emptiness. This would mean we reside in a galaxy filled not just with stars but also with remnants, messages and bottles cast into the ocean of time. If this sounds like science fiction, keep in mind that the concepts of gravitational waves, black holes, and exoplanets were also considered mere imagination just a few decades ago. The universe has a tendency to transform imaginative ideas into evidence. Perhaps someday, our descendants will dispatch similar sails, sheets of light and metal that carry the narrative of Earth to other worlds. Maybe 3I/Atlas serves as proof that someone else accomplished this long before us. However, there exists another quieter interpretation, one that feels more spiritual than scientific. Perhaps the symmetry we observe isn't alien in a technological sense, but rather in its aesthetic beauty, a cosmic sculpture shaped by time itself and influenced by forces we are just beginning to assimilate. The universe has always exhibited an artist's touch, from the radiant arcs of nebulae to the fractal beauty of spiral galaxies. Perhaps 3I/Atlas is simply another masterpiece within that grand gallery. Yet one cannot help but ponder why now? Why here? Out of billions of years of cosmic history, why are we witnessing this? An interstellar visitor revealing a shape that challenges all our assumptions about matter in motion. Is it mere coincidence or an invitation? When Voyager 1 crossed the solar system's boundary, it carried a golden record, a message of greetings from Earth, hoping that one day someone might discover it. Perhaps 3I/Atlas is another civilization's Voyager dispatched long ago, crossing oceans of light with knowledge we have yet to decipher. And maybe, just maybe, this encounter signifies mutual recognition, a handshake across time. So what are your thoughts? Is 3I/Atlas a natural wonder or a product of intelligence beyond Earth? The lesson here does not revolve around what this object is, but rather in prompting us to ask the question. For centuries, we've gazed at the stars and felt small. Yet, discoveries like this remind us that curiosity is our most potent force. It is the thread that connects us, a tiny species on a small blue planet, to the universe's greatest mysteries. It teaches us that the cosmos still harbors wonders capable of leaving us awestruck, silent, and filled with reverence. That is why we must continue to look up. I'm eager to hear your instincts. What do you believe this object to be? Share your theories in the comments below. And if you feel we should continue exploring these enigmas, if you found wonder in this moment, hit that subscribe button to embark on this journey with us. Because ultimately, we're not merely studying the stars, we're seeking to understand ourselves among them.